Hello and welcome everyone on this official platform of Legacy IAS Academy. So today in this session, I'm going to discuss one of the important issue with respect to India-EU partnership and a wonderful editorial in Indian Express. That is the India-EU partnership amid turbulence, a stabilizing force. Ji haan. So what if I told you that two of the world's largest democracies, one ancient and rising and the other established and united, are quietly crafting a new global axis that could reshape the 21st century. While all eyes are on US elections, China aggression and Russia's war path, a new power equation is taking shape between India as well as European Union. One that is not just about trade and diplomacy, but also it is about building a stable multipolar world that challenges the chaos. So, from high-tech defense to the green corridors, from data privacy to energy security, this partnership goes far beyond the headlines. Now, why is India pushing so hard for Europe now? What is Europe seeing in India's that even Washington sometimes overlooks? Recently, External Affairs Minister S. Jayanagara just landed in Brussels. Prime Minister Modi made a symbolic visit to Cyprus, and talks of a mega free trade agreement are heating up. And in the shadows, a $1 billion corridor linking India's Middle East as well as Europe is already underway. So this is not just another foreign policy handshake. This is a strategic alignment with long-term consequences for geopolitics as well as economics as well as global security. So stay with me till the end because we are going to uncover how this new alliance might just become the silent stabilizer in a dangerously turbulent world, and why you need to understand it now before the world map changes again. So what is this article about? So first try to understand. So this article, as you can see here, this editorial in Indian Express, this editorial is about how India and European Union are becoming close partners in a changing world. And their partnership is not just for short-term benefit, but also for long-term strategic moves, which are based on shared economic interest, which are based on the shared democratic values and a common goal for national security. Now, why is this partnership important now? As you can see here in the editorial itself, that the world is becoming multipolar. Ji haan. This world is becoming multipolar, which means the power is shared among many countries, not just only dominated by US or China. Now, in this world, in this era, India and EU, European Union, they want to support each other. As you can see here, the recent visit of Jayanagara as well as Narendra Modi to Cyprus. So India and EU want to support each other and also keep the international rule-based system strong. Now, uncertainty about US, especially after the Donald Trump. If Donald Trump, like after the Donald Trump, so Donald Trump, because of Donald Trump, so this is pushing India as well as EU to look for the alternative partners. Now, this does not mean that India as well as European Union, they are leaving US. Both still see United States of America as their most important economic as well as strategic partner. Now, what are the recent developments that took place in India-EU ties? Ji haan. As you can see here, so these are some recent developments. So let's talk about the recent developments that took place in India-EU ties. So first of all, External Affairs Minister, that is Jayanagara, as you can see here. So External Affairs Minister Jayanagara, he has visited the Brussels this week, and Prime Minister Modi has visited Cyprus. Now, these two things, these two incidents showing that how serious India is about strengthening ties with Europe. So that is why this thing is very important. Now, First of all, what are the major areas of cooperation among India and EU की अगर हम बात करें, so the first thing which was mentioned in the newspaper also, that is free trade agreement. जी हाँ, free trade agreement. Now why free trade agreement is important? So after many years of delay, India as well as European Union are now trying hard to finish a comprehensive free trade agreement by the end of 2025. Now this free trade agreement will help strengthening supply chain and support sustainable growth. Second important thing that you can see in the editorial is connectivity project. जी हाँ, connectivity project कौन सा? India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. Now, what is the goal of this corridor? To create new trade routes, as you can see here, as well as innovation hubs. Now, third important thing here is technology as well as defense. Now, both the regions, they are working jointly on advanced technology. So, possible defense industry collaboration can also be there. But not only this, there are some challenges as well. Now, what are the challenges between India and EU? There are some sensitive issues. So, the first challenge is Russia. So, India has old defense ties with Russia. But India has not criticized Russia in its Ukraine war. Now European Union sees Russia as a security threat, but instead of pressurizing India, it focusing on practical cooperation with Russia. So India is also practically cooperating with Russia. Now, another challenge, China. Both India and European Union, they have concern about China's behavior in global affairs. Then third thing is Pakistan. Now, why Pakistan? So, after recent tensions in Pahalgam, as well as Operation Sindoor after that, so Jayanagara and European Union leaders, they discussed about this, and EU also supports the peace and dialogue, and remember this thing, but EU also backs India's right to self-defense as well as condemn terrorism in every form. So what is the big picture that you can see here? The big picture that you can see here is that the India-EU relationship is now a central part of building a multipolar world. Now, a strategic alliance. So, India-EU partnership, it is a kind of strategic alliance. It is not just a short-term adjustment. They focus on trade, tech, democracy, as well as security. Now, it may have various impacts. Now, the growing India-EU partnership can have significant impacts regionally, globally, as well as strategically. So, first we are going to discuss about the global impact. So, let's try to understand about the global impacts. Now, global impact. First thing is strengthening of multipolar order. Multipolar world. Kaise? Multipolar world order. Now try to understand India and EU ties, they reduces the over dependence on United States or China. Now this creates a more balanced global power structure where multiple major powers like India, EU, Japan, ASEAN, etc. they cooperate as well as they shape the global rules. Now it also boosts the rule-based international order. Ji haan, rule-based international order. So together, India as well as European Union, they are standing up for the international law, freedom of navigation, and also the peaceful conflict resolution, especially important in a time of aggression by the powers like Russia as well as China. Then another could be economic impact. Ab economic impact iske kya ho sakte hain? Now, economic impact. So, let's try to understand faster and greener trade. Ji haan. A successful free trade agreement will reduce the tariffs, promote sustainable growth, and also it can attract the green investments. Now, it is going to help India to access high quality European technology, and it can also diversify global supply chains, which making them less China dependent. Then another impact could be massive connectivity benefits. How? In the form of India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor. Ji haan. The India, Middle East, Europe Economic Corridor will create faster trade routes. It is going to boost energy security. It strengthens links between Asia, Middle East as well as Europe. Apart from this, there are some security as well as strategic impact. Now, security and strategic impacts. Now, what can be the security and strategic impact? Counterbalance to China's rise. India and EU both see China as strategic rival in many areas because so in this way their partnership, India and EU partnership, helps in coordinating tech and cybersecurity policies, defense collaboration to reduce the dependency on Chinese components. Then it is also going to reduce the dependence on Russia. For India, if I say, gradually reducing reliance on Russian weapons via European alternatives. And for EU, working with India helps manage the global energy as well as security risk, which is caused by Russia's aggression. Then another impact, tech. That means tech and innovation impact. Tech and innovation impact. Now, with respect to this, tech and innovation, digital cooperation, these things are there. Now, cooperation in AI, cooperation in semiconductors, cooperation in cybersecurity, digital regulations like EU's GDPR style data protection. Now, this creates mutually beneficial ecosystem. This is going to help as well as strengthen the tech sovereignty between both the regions. Then diplomatic impacts, if we see diplomatic impacts, so now, as we can see here, diplomatic impact. Now, this is going to elevate the India's global image. This shows that India as a serious global player that can work with Western democracies. It can also strengthen India's case for the UNSC permanent membership. It can create greater voice in G7, OECD, as well as global financial institutions. Apart from this, there can be deeper cultural as well as people-to-people ties. Now, increase student exchanges, tourism, as well as research cooperation. It will help India to integrate with European educational standards as well as innovation hubs. So, overall impact, if you see, strategic realignment is there, trade and tech transformation, then new global corridors of power, then more balanced as well as democratic world order. So overall, as we see, so as we step into a world full of volatility, you can say here, or the wars in Europe, trade wars in Asia, as well as political storm in America. So in this way, the India-European Union partnership is emerging as a rare forces of balance, of stability. So it is actually a blueprint for how nations can cooperate without domination, without fear, as well as without compromise on values. So this is more than a hedge against the West unpredictability or China's expansion. It is about redefining the global power through shared responsibility. It is about the democracies building trust, not just alliances. And here is the real suspense. As this alliance grows stronger, so new global institutions, trade routes, as well as digital regulations may no longer be decided in Washington or Beijing, but across the corridors of New Delhi as well as Brussels. So if you find that this insight, this editorial is eye-opening, this video is eye-opening, so do not forget to like, share and comment your thoughts below. And the world is changing fast and the knowledge is your greatest power. So this is not just a lesson in international relations, it is a glimpse into the future of global leadership. So subscribe now, Legacy IAS Academy, because the next big shift in power won't be televised. It will be decoded right here. Thank you so much.